Today we're going to uncover the secrets of one of the coolest neighbors you've probably spotted in your garden or local park, the common hedgehog. This little guy is incredibly tough and hides way more than just a prickly shell. Did you know that a hedgehog is like a living barometer for your ecosystem? They're legit night hunters and survival experts. We're diving into their world to see how this ball of spikes actually functions, how they survive in the wild, and what role they play in nature. Get ready to bust some myths and meet the true master of the twilight. So, what makes a hedgehog so recognizable? Their quills, obviously. These amazing things are actually just modified hairs. An adult hedgehog can have anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 of them. Each quill is hollow, filled with air, and about 2 to 3 centimeters long. They grow at different angles to give the animal maximum protection. Fun fact, unlike some other critters, hedgehog spikes aren't poisonous. They're usually brownish-black with lighter tips, which makes for perfect camouflage. Underneath those spikes, there's soft, light fur covering their belly, face, chest, throat, and paws. They even have a tiny tail. A hedgehog's snout is elongated with a twitchy, wet nose. It's their go-to tool for sniffing out food. Their eyes are small and black, and to be honest, their eyesight isn't great. However, their hearing and sense of smell are top tier. A standard European hedgehog usually measures between 20 to 30 centimeters and weighs from 800 g to 1.5 kilograms. For comparison, the smallest species, the short-eared hedgehog, is only about 10 to 15 centimeters, while the largest long-eared ones can hit 30 centimeters and weigh over a kilo. Males are generally a bit bigger than females. And just to clear things up, hedgehogs aren't rodents. They belong to the order Eulepodophylla, the same group as moles and shrews. The European hedgehog is one of the most common species out there. You can find them across most of Europe, including the UK, Scandinavia, and Central Europe. Overall, different species are spread across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Even though many species share a similar look, they can be quite different. Some have lighter bellies or shorter ears, depending on whether they are better adapted to forests or open landscapes like steppes. Hedgehogs are super adaptable. They love mixed and deciduous forests, shrubs, meadows, and gardens. They feel right at home in urban areas, hanging out in cemeteries, railway embankments, or connected backyards. They're also big fans of farmland since they love clearings with thick vegetation. They usually avoid dense pine forests or super swampy areas. The main thing they need is a place to hide and plenty of snacks. That's why you'll often find them near villages and towns, crashing in bushes, under piles of leaves, in old stumps, or even abandoned buildings. Hedgehogs are night owls. They're most active at dusk and during the night, while they spend the day chilling in their cozy dens. They build these nests in thick bushes, under tree roots, or in burrows. Sometimes they dig them themselves, and sometimes they just take over an abandoned one from another animal. Generally, they aren't very territorial, though males might get a bit competitive over females during mating season. Their pace is usually slow and steady, but if they need to, they can bolt at speeds of up to 1.5 meters per second. But normally, they cruise at about 3 kilometers per hour. Males can cover 2 to 3 kilometers in a single night looking for food or a date. They're actually great swimmers and can even climb low trees and bushes. And hedgehogs aren't exactly silent either. Their world is full of sounds that help them communicate and find their way around. When a hedgehog senses danger, it instantly curls into a tight, prickly ball. This is powered by strong ring muscles that pull their body together, making the spikes point in every direction. When they do this, you might hear a distinct hissing or huffing sound. That's their way of trying to scare off an enemy. When they're out foraging, they often snort and rustle through the leaves. During mating season, males might make loud chirping sounds, while females make quiet little squeaks. It's like the secret language of the night forest. A huge part of hedgehog behavior is hibernation. It's a deep sleep where the animal's metabolism drops way down. Their heart rate slows from 180 beats per minute to just 20 or 60, and their body temperature plummets from 34 degrees Celsius to as low as 2 degrees Celsius. Before heading into hibernation, a hedgehog eats like crazy to build up fat reserves. If they don't hit a minimum weight of about 600-700 g, they might not make it through the winter. Generally, hibernation starts in mid-autumn and lasts until early spring, once the temperature stays consistently above freezing. They often winter in piles of leaves or logs, so be careful if you're moving those around. Also, in extreme heat when food and water are scarce, they can go into a mini hibernation called estivation. Contrary to popular belief, hedgehogs aren't just fans of apples and milk. In fact, they're omnivores, but their diet mostly consists of animal protein. They're amazing insect hunters: beetles, caterpillars, earthworms, as well as slugs and snails. Hedgehogs don't shy away from bigger prey either, like frogs, lizards, mice, and even snakes. On top of that, they can eat eggs from ground-nesting birds as well as carrion and mushrooms. In a single night, an adult hedgehog can eat an amount of food that's up to a third of its own body weight. People often supplement their diet with wet pet food and fresh water, especially in summer or during extreme weather. By the way, milk is actually harmful to hedgehogs because they're lactose intolerant, which can lead to serious digestive issues. The hedgehog is a true guardian of the forest and garden. Since their diet includes a ton of slugs, snails, and insects, they're a key ally in pest control. This role isn't just direct, meaning eating the pests, but also indirect. For example, slugs are often intermediate hosts for various parasites that can infect other species. By eating the slugs, the hedgehog breaks the life cycle of these parasites, contributing to the overall health of the ecosystem. So, having a hedgehog in your garden is a sign of natural balance and environmental health. Mating season for hedgehogs starts right after hibernation, usually in April or May. During this time, males might even get into fights over a female. Pregnancy for a female lasts about 35 to 42 days. She gives birth to anywhere from 3 to 8 blind, naked, and defenseless hoglets. Newborns weigh only 12 to 25 grams and have spikes hidden under swollen, fluid-filled skin to prevent injuring the mother during birth. These soft spikes emerge within a few hours, and a second, darker set starts growing after 11 days. The mother is very protective of her young. She nurses them with milk for about 4 to 6 weeks. A female can have 1 or 2 litters a year. By the age of 2 months, young hedgehogs become independent and leave the mother's nest. They reach sexual maturity between 10 and 12 months of age. In the wild, a hedgehog's average lifespan is 3 to 6 years. But some individuals can live up to 8 years. In captivity with proper care, they can live much longer, from 7 to 10 years. However, mortality among young hedgehogs is very high, especially during their first year of life. Life for wild animals is full of challenges, and hedgehogs are no exception. They often carry various parasites and suffer from diseases. One of the most common issues is ticks, which can transmit dangerous infections that are zoonotic, meaning they can spread to humans. Hedgehogs are also prone to helminthiasis, infections from internal parasites like roundworms and tapeworms. These parasites drain the animal's strength, making it vulnerable to other illnesses. Fungal infections, specifically dermatomycosis, can cause skin and quill problems. In severe cases, especially for weak or young ones, these diseases can be fatal. Understanding these threats is crucial for anyone involved in wild animal rehabilitation. Hedgehogs are very ancient mammals with a history stretching back millions of years. Their ancestors appeared on Earth about 60 to 70 million years ago, back in the Paleocene, the time of the dinosaurs. The earliest fossil forms resembling modern hedgehogs date back to the Eocene, about 55 million years ago. It's important to note that hedgehogs are among the oldest mammals that have remained virtually unchanged for 15 million years. They belong to the order Eulipodophila, which is one of the oldest among placental mammals. This shows they're primitive from an evolutionary standpoint, but also incredibly resilient and adaptable. Over millions of years, they've stayed almost the same, keeping their unique defense strategy, spikes. This is a classic example of convergent evolution, where similar traits develop in unrelated species. Think of porcupines or echidnas, which also have quills for protection. Their success lies in the effectiveness of their armored defense, which has worked throughout their entire evolutionary history. While most hedgehogs are wild animals, some species like the African pygmy hedgehog have become popular pets. However, keeping hedgehogs in captivity requires deep knowledge and serious responsibility. First of all, you need to understand that not all species are fit for home life. The common European hedgehog is a wild animal, and trying to domesticate it is cruel and illegal in many countries. These animals need a special diet, specific living conditions, and regular vet checkups. Their food must be balanced and consist mostly of protein, not fruits or milk as many people mistakenly believe. Also, it's important to remember the health risks for both the animal and the human. Hedgehogs can carry salmonella and other bacterial infections, so strict hygiene is a must. Keeping hedgehogs in captivity takes more than just enthusiasm. It requires deep knowledge and a commitment to long-term care that can last 7 to 10 years. Despite their prickly armor, hedgehogs have natural enemies. The most dangerous ones are foxes, badgers, large owls, like the eagle owl, hawks, and stray dogs. Some of these predators, like the badger, have strong enough claws to unroll a hedgehog or can attack its unprotected belly. Owls, thanks to their sharp talons, can grab a hedgehog despite the spikes. The hedgehog's main defense is its ability to curl into a tight, prickly ball. This defense is super effective against most predators. A hedgehog might also make hissing sounds, jump, or lunge at an enemy to try and scare it off. If a predator tries to attack, the spikes dig into its mouth or paws, forcing it to back off. Sadly, the population of the common hedgehog is declining in many parts of Europe. Although this species isn't always officially listed as endangered yet, its numbers are dropping due to the factors we mentioned. Habitat destruction, the use of pesticides like those banned slug pellets, heavy traffic, and urban sprawl. According to some studies, hedgehog populations in the UK, for example, have dropped by more than 50% in the last 20 years. The main threats everywhere are agricultural chemicals, lawn mowing, traffic, and a lack of safe wintering spots. Robotic lawnmowers are especially dangerous, as they can injure hedgehogs at night. If you see a hedgehog during the day, it's a red flag. It usually means the animal is hungry, sick, or woke up too early from hibernation. In that case, you should contact the nearest wild animal rehabilitation center. Creating new protected areas and educating the public are key steps that help improve the odds for these amazing wild animals. And now for a few little known but awesome facts about hedgehogs. They see the world in shades of blue and yellow. Unlike humans, they can't tell the difference between red and green. Hedgehogs can be partially immune to snake venom, though that doesn't mean they're immune to all snakes. They just have a certain level of resistance that lets them hunt vipers. Sometimes hedgehogs find an object with a strong scent, like tobacco, soap, or even poisonous plants, lick it into a lather and spread the saliva over their quills. The exact reason for this self-anointing is unknown, but it's thought to be a way to mask their scent, fight parasites, or even show off their toxicity. Despite their look, they can move pretty fast in the water if they have to. Every hedgehog has a unique quill pattern. Just like human fingerprints, their spikes create a unique design, though it's not very obvious to the naked eye. Hedgehogs can actually fall asleep while looking for food. Sometimes they get so caught up in the process that they just doze off right in the grass. In the Middle Ages, hedgehogs were used for pest control. It was believed they effectively wiped out insects and rodents in gardens. Some species have exceptionally long ears, which helps them radiate heat in hot climates. So, we've taken a fascinating journey into the world of the hedgehog, this prickly but charming inhabitant of our planet. We've learned about its unique looks, survival adaptations, the secrets of its night life, and its complex evolutionary path. The hedgehog can be called an indicator of our ecosystem's health. Its presence in our gardens and forests speaks to the relative cleanliness of the environment. It's a true guardian of the forest and garden, helping to keep pest numbers in check. Saving hedgehogs means saving a piece of the wild that can live alongside us if we just show some care and respect. So next time you see a hedgehog rustling in the grass, remember everything we learned today, and maybe you'll want to do your part in protecting this amazing, prickly wizard. That's all for now. Likes, comments, and shares are up to you. Write down if you often see hedgehogs in your town or village, and if you have any cool stories about them. See you next time in the world of wildlife.